Thanks for downloading another episode of The Ugly Truth. Or if it's your first time, welcome. You are now an honorary UG, or Hug as we like to say. We really appreciate you listening and supporting the show through our Amazon and Avon links at uglytruth.com. And now, without further ado, The Ugly Truth. It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
You're pseudo-forgiven.
Okay.
I might let you kiss me later.
And filling in for Paula, producer Dub. We almost didn't have a show, peeps. Uncensored as always, it's time for The Ugly Truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 218. I couldn't remember the name.
You had to look.
I'm like, what is it? It's episode 218. This is The Ugly Truth. Normally, this would be me, Jamie, with one of my sisters, but usually Paula. But this week, Paula is moving to a new house, and so producer Dub, our producer, is sitting in.
Ugh.
So welcome to the show, producer Dub.
Hi, thanks.
You've been making an appearance a little too often for most of our tastes.
Don't blame me. Blame your sisters.
Oh my God. Seriously. And I'm so annoyed at Stephanie right now, my other sister. I reached out to her a week ago and she literally ignored the request to come on the show.
Also known as no thank you, but I don't want to tell you no thank you.
She's going to have a gajillion excuses why she couldn't be on the show. And I'm going to have to just say, okay, no big deal. Even though it's annoying because you're fun on the show, but apparently...
You're going to send her the link to this show and go, do you see what I had to deal with because you wouldn't come on the show?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
It's my one opportunity to not do something with you is this show.
Actually, this is one of those cases where we probably knew pretty well in advance that this was going to happen, knowing that Paula was, and things like that. And,
absolutely.
And we waited, we were trying to wait for Stephanie and so on and so forth. And, but I think one of the things that we've been doing the last couple of days that I've noticed is we went out to dinner the other night or we're sitting on the deck and we're constantly starting to talk about something like no, shut. Let's talk about this on the show.
Let's talk about it on the show.
So
yeah, the last thing you want to do is blow your wad at a dinner instead of behind the mic, right?
Word.
Right. Okay, so before we get started, everyone knows we're married.
Yes.
I think. Well, if you listen regularly, you know. But if you don't, we're married.
We are. As if you couldn't tell.
I think that if you don't know who we are and you hear producer Dub's voice, it's clear that he has a radio background. Now, he may not be like a, thing where he's been doing this forever, but you've been in radio. How long have you been in radio? From the time that you started interning until yesterday?
My very first on-air job was December 88 was the first time I went on the air.
Okay, I know, but before that...
it's 30 years. It's
30 freaking years.
Yeah, it's I was either going to school or DJing or whatever at bare minimum at that long. But my first time cracking the mic on an actual radio station was December 88.
What was the radio station?
K100.
Where is it?
It was in the physical station was in Marysville, so it's a kind of a suburb-ish thing of between Chico and Sacramento,
California.
Yes, in California. Yes.
And now, from what I recall, you telling me, okay.
It was in a bomb shelter.
What was your DJ name?
Alex Knight.
And how did that come about?
Okay, so I was going on the air for the first time. Right before I went on the air, I did it. The night guy was there, and this was my trial. I was going to go on the air from 11 to midnight or some ridiculous.
1 whole hour?
Well, the station. This is how small the station was. It went off the air. We turned it off at midnight. This is a side story. Before I go back to my name, this is a side story, but. There was one night where the weekend morning person had called in sick, and I was doing the night gig the night before. So the program director called me and said, hey, can you do the night shift, turn the station off, and then come back and do the morning shift the very next morning when you turn it on at 6 a.m. or whatever.
So did you just spend the night?
Literally slept in the studio. I did the hours, but I didn't sleep very well because I was worried that 10 o'clock would roll around and I'd still be sleeping on the couch, and forget to turn the station on. But
that's funny.
Anyway, but yeah. So my name came, well, first of all, because it was all Back to the Future time, and I loved Michael J. Fox, and his character on Family Ties was Alex.
Right.
So that's where I got the name Alex. So I actually knew the first name. Well, the guy actually told me, he goes, why are you so worried about your name? if you suck, you just change it tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal,
That's true.
And that was back in the day where nowadays it's not as common, but back in the day, nobody used their real name on the air.
You had a DJ name.
Everybody had a DJ name.
On-air personality name.
On-air personality.
And actually, if you think about some of your favorite on-air voices, a lot of them do not use their actual given name.
No.
They have it's almost like Hollywood, where there's already an actor named Jim Carrey, so you're gonna have to come up with something else.
Right. So I knew, I was like, well, I'll use Alex, but literally 10 minutes before I'm going on the air, I have no idea what else I'm using. So I'm flipping through records, actual 45s, just looking at names, not necessarily the singer names, just any name,
anything,
like producer, like anything, right? And came across this one that I think the guy's last name was Terry. I think it was Terry Knight or something like that. I can't remember. And I go, oh, Knight with a K. That sounds cool. I'll use that.
Alex Knight. And it stuck, right?
And it stuck. I used it for my whole on-air career.
How long was your on-air career, really?
I probably did 8 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I was never, like, I had my own shows, nights and weekends.
Right.
I was never, I didn't do full-time on air until I became part of a morning show,
Were
which was at
you more
Croy.
of a more than a board op, though?
At the morning show?
Anywhere.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So you had a shift. It just wasn't like
I didn't have
morning or evening where
I was
super
not.
popular.
I was not the afternoon guy. I never got that far. In fact, I actually I probably could have, but I made the conscious decision not to go that far because back in the day, you either had to be a DJ superstar, if you will, like you had to go to LA, you had to go somewhere big, and I didn't want to do that. But I loved the industry, so I started kind of getting into promotions and sales and stuff, so I could actually make money.
I was going to say, I think the money is ultimately for most people.
Actually, now that I think of it, and I don't consider myself a greedy person. I just consider myself I want to provide for myself, for my family, things like that. So I think now that I think about it, money has actually caused me to cut short two things that I really love.
Baseball and...
I stopped playing baseball at 15 because I wanted to get a job.
Dumb.
Stupid.
So dumb.
Stupid move. That was probably you know that. Yes. I've told you my biggest regret ever is probably, not ever, but like as a kid, my biggest regret was going to work too early and giving up full-time sports. And then the other one is cutting the DJ thing short because I actually wanted to, eat and live and do those things. So.
Well, you know what? You're not as artistic as you are.
Yeah, I'm a little more mathematical than.
Well, it's not that you're not. It's not, well, although you really do appreciate music and you appreciate Dr. Dre.
Oh well, I love the creative side of things. I'm not that good at it.
I think being an on-air voice is creative, though. I think it takes I didn't know you when you were doing your on-air work, but the way your influx and the way you use your voice, clearly you were on the air for a while.
Right.
I sound like a hysterical chicken.
That's not true.
Yes, I do, because I didn't have that training like you do. So I'm like, that's what I sound like all the time.
You sound like Ed the hyena.
Yes.
From Lion King.
Yes. Ed. So anyway, welcome to the show. Thanks for filling in. That was a brief but long biography of your short-lived career as an on-air
hopefully
DJ. Because now DJ doesn't even mean DJ anymore. Now it's clubs and
on-air
Vegas
talent,
and
air personality,
EDM, and
And what's funny is that's what I started out as. I was never like that level, but like playing at
shut yourself
playing
down
at
there.
parties,
Get your mind
and
right.
having a turntable, things like that. But I was never a mixer.
Snoop.
No. Well. No.
Listen, we've been watching a lot of
Snoop.
We've been watching a lot of the Defiant Ones documentary, so we're really I am really in the know right now as far as Death Row Records and Interscope and all of that.
And I started naming off stuff.
Speaking of, that is such a great documentary. Apparently, it's only a four-part series, and we're starting part 3 with Eminem.
The Defiant One. I'm
so excited.
On HBO.
HBO Hobo.
Actually, not that we needed it, but as vindication that it is very well done. Anthony Bourdain is like, that is one of the best documentaries out there right now.
You know what it is, too? It's because people who are considered the black sheep, they love shit like this.
Yeah.
I do, because it's like, there is nothing about that story that should have been successful.
Right.
Okay, so going on to the next thing really quick, because now next week is Comic-Con, which you and I went to.
We did a couple years ago.
This week, and I'm sure it's timed on purpose, is D23, which is the Disney convention. Now, I find that repulsive because I love Disney to a degree, but now they are more than just Mickey Mouse. Now they've got Marvel, they've got Star Wars, and their own, Pixar and all this other stuff. So this D23 convention that goes down in Anaheim is becoming basically like a Comic-Con for another genre.
Yeah, it used to be this thing where, like, this is where we're announcing all the new collectibles, and 1 or 2 movies would get announced. And,
the Diamond Collection on VCR, everyone.
And
that's what it used to be.
Something, Bambi on Blu-ray is coming out. That kind of stuff. So it wasn't...
It's not like that anymore.
Yeah, it was really for the super fanatics, right? Like, of Disney, traditional Disney. But then, then it gets a little bit more when...
Well, now they're buying up all these franchises.
Pixar was kind of the start of that. It actually something exciting is happening. And now, I mean, it's Marvel, everything. Star Wars, it's
I'm just wondering,
thing.
Is it one of those...
Which is why those companies have stopped going so much to Comic-Con, by the way. They don't do as much because... So.
Well, interestingly, I'm wondering, is this going to be one of those mecca trips where you go to D23 and then you just drive or travel over to San Diego and you do Comic-Con?
I'm sure a lot of people do it.
And it's just 2 weeks of reckless geek abandon, and you're just like, you can't even stand yourself. It's just so much nerding out on the stuff that you love, right?
Right.
So there was some pretty cool announcements that they've made. The biggest one that you're really excited about is the new Star Wars land in Disneyland, because you're from the era of 9-year-old boys who watched Star Wars back in the day. So now this is like...
I was 7, for the record.
You were? Oh, so you're even older than that.
7
so this
or 8.
is really exciting for you. So what's the name of the Star Wars land at Disneyland now?
It's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Okay, so Galaxy's Edge.
In both Florida and Anaheim.
Yes, but we give 0 fucks about Florida.
Yeah.
So we're just only going to talk about Anaheim.
Yeah. So.
That's just the way I'm sorry. Okay. I just can't. Okay. I can't do it.
I understand.
I'll never go there. If you want to go there, you're on your own.
They're going to have a Tron thing.
You're going on your own. I will not do that.
All right.
I went there once.
I've never been, so it's okay.
Well, you know what? You have a lot of kids who'd be happy to go with you.
I'm sure.
There's a lot of them that would be happy to go with you.
I know.
Okay, so what was cool about this whole thing is it's like they're trying to do this full immersion feel, which is new. It's not... Other parts of Disneyland aren't like that. Now, California Adventure has parts that are like that, where it's full immersion.
Right,
Where you go in, you're like, oh my God, I'm really in a Bug's World, or whatever.
Well, yeah, because Disneyland itself is themed lands, but it's about the rides that are in those lands. It's not. I mean, Toontown, which nobody goes to anymore, is a but everything old Disneyland is all.
You just walk in and you're like, there's the sign. Okay, we're going into Frontierland. There's the the gunslingers and stuff.
Yeah.
Woody's there, but now this is a completely different way of doing it, which you're going to walk in and you're going to feel like. Or you're going to feel like you're walking into a galaxy.
That's why they're calling it Galaxy's Edge, because it's basically this space port, right? That's on the edge of the galaxy. That everything is full. It's kind of like when we went to Harry Potter. The whole idea that.
Do you think they'll have weird food and stuff?
Oh yeah, no. Okay, well, I was going to tell you that in the original, which would be Episode 4, so the original Star Wars from '77, Star Wars: A New Hope.
Okay.
So there's a scene that young Luke Skywalker is with his aunt and uncle, and he's complaining about being on the planet and wants to go fight the Empire and everything. And they're having breakfast, and he has blue milk. Like we assume it. I mean, that's what everybody calls it, is blue milk. Nobody knows what it really was, but it was breakfast. It looked like milk, and it was blue. Well, apparently, you're going to be able to drink blue milk at this thing. So
I have absolutely zero recollection of blue milk.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it doesn't exist.
I'm just telling you, it's so...
That it's everyone... so there's going to be a bunch of 40-year-olds in line drinking blue milk.
Absolutely.
And you know how hot it is at Disneyland? And drinking blue milk? That's going to be a very poor choice.
Who knows if it's even milk? I mean, it'll just be some drink, right? It'll be some weird
It's going to be something dairy-based, and it's going to be 100 degrees, and you're going to have a bunch of 40-year-old dads going, why did I have the blue milk?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
It'll be a novelty thing for sure.
Yeah, for one day, and you'll be like,
bleh.
Don't do the blue milk.
Don't do the blue milk. It's kind of like the butterbeer thing at... It's Harry Potter world.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway. So let me think. So the only other thing that I found of interest was the Mary Poppins. They showed Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins, which I thought was really cool.
They had announced,
she looks really pretty too. And then
Mary Poppins Returns.
The Wreck-It Ralph movie's coming out, and I could care less about Wreck-It Ralph. And then they did the big Avengers reveal, which everyone's excited about.
Yep.
Having the Guardians of the Galaxy mesh with Thor
Yep.
and mesh with Spider-Man and Iron Man and that whole giant explosion of superheroes.
And they did. They also
that should be
announced.
exciting.
So obviously the big trend now, especially off of the success of Beauty and the Beast and Jungle Books, is live action versions of their animated movies, right? So they're doing, and this one's not truly live action, but Lion King. So they showed.
I don't know why they're doing that.
They showed the circle of life scene that everybody saw. Now they're talking Will Smith is the genie in a live action Aladdin. Right. They're doing a live action Mulan. So a lot of live action stuff is being worked on. So
well, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see if that is worth anything.
And then they got some other stuff too. So did you see? This was my favorite one that was funny, and I was like mad that it had never been done before. So Florida. Again, I know we're not talking about Florida, but it's a huge complex. It's not like Disneyland. You can't walk it.
Yeah, they even have alligators there.
Yeah, so...
You can't pet them, but...
obviously not.
You can try.
So, apparently, one of the new modes of transportation are minivans.
No. See?
They're minis.
They're
is what I'm saying. Completely wrapped like Minnie Mouse.
Forget it!
Could you imagine?
No! See? That's what I'm saying. This is why we don't go to Florida. People wear Crocs there. Now they're just driving minivans like it's normal and appropriate.
Yeah,
no.
But they're cute. They're like
absolutely
little
not.
Minnie Mouses.
You know what? You married the wrong girl. You married the wrong girl if this is the kind of life you want to live.
I'm doing it to fire you up. I'm not going to ride in a damn minivan. Not happening.
Listen to me. I know you.
What?
I know you like I know my own self.
Okay.
And if we went to Disney World, you would get in that fucking van and you would love it.
Nope.
Yes, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
You would do it.
I would not.
Okay, so moving on, because I've had my fill. I'm almost regretful that we brought up D23. Almost regretful. Because I didn't realize that you were going to start sweating in excitement.
I'm sweating because we turned the air conditioner off in our luscious studio where we record this show because it makes a large and loud sound and it makes it kind of unlistenable sometimes when it's blowing really hard. But it's 147 degrees outside. So,
well, our producers, he can only do what he can do. So we have to make it as easy for him as possible.
That's what it's all about. Because, you pay him so much.
Okay, so moving along.
Yes.
There's a couple of anniversaries that I would like to discuss on this show before we get too sick of each other. And that is this. Happy anniversary to our most favorite MasterChef contestant and friend, Nick Nappy. Bar 1 is 1 year old in San Diego. If you haven't been, you should go.
Yes.
It's need to go.
Little Italy.
Little Italy in San Diego, and I'm sure they're having a gangbusters week right now. First of all, I believe it was a couple of nights ago, was their official 1 year, and they partied super duper hard. And then next week is Comic-Con, so they're just going to be like ridiculously popular. And so if you're heading to Comic-Con, please stop into Little Italy at Bar 1. Tell him the Ugly Truth sent you. That would be hilarious. Maybe he'll be like, "Hey, free fries for you." I don't know.
He pinged us a couple weeks ago and asked us when we were coming down. So.
I know. We need to get down there. We really do.
Very soon. Anyway, congratulations.
Happy anniversary. He does not like to be called chef. He does not believe he's a chef. He's a cook.
Yeah.
And so...
True cooks.
True cook. He is a true cook, and he and his wife are fantastic
wonderful
humans.
People.
Just love them so much.
Couldn't happen to better people.
Really? Yeah. Seriously? I mean, He's so great. And, it's funny, when they got married, they got married on MasterChef. It was an episode on MasterChef.
In which we appeared.
Appear. And that was a couple of years ago. Yeah. I had the distinct pleasure of meeting the actual MasterChef winner that season, Claudia Sandoval. Mm-hmm. And now I'm friends with her on social media. I've never met... Well, yes, I have met her, actually.
We hung out backstage.
Yes,
well, not
I did.
backstage, but when we were waiting.
We did, yes. And which is why we became friends. Yep. She is having a fantastic career right now. Yes. She's just kicking ass. And I take back everything I said about Mexican food because she has found a way to make it even more amazing. Yeah. And she's flying all over the country.
Yeah, she's doing all cookbook and appearances and stuff.
No,
whereas Nick wanted to do... She didn't do no restaurant, though,
She does not have a restaurant, but she's
that's what Nick wanted to do.
She is doing these pop-ups all over the country.
Awesome.
And she's coordinating with some of the best restaurants in the country to showcase her food and her recipes and all of that, and it's just so amazing to see. And she's also local San Diegan.
Yep.
So San Diegon. Whale's vagina.
San Diegians?
No,
San Diegans.
I don't think that's correct. Well, when in Rome.
When in Rome.
So congratulations to both of them from that season.
Yeah.
So much success. Now, secondly, you and I are celebrating a milestone anniversary this year.
We are.
20 years. 20 effing years. Now, we got married when we were 16.
Yeah.
We were teenagers.
right.
So
we're only 36.
No, I'm in my 40 foes.
40 foes?
Yeah, I'm down with it. Hey.
On the back half of the 40 foes for me.
It's better than being dead. So for me...
That's your next birthday card. I'm going to get you a birthday card.
So...
It's going to get 40 foe. Better than being dead.
You know what? You would never, because you are too mushy.
I am.
You can't do it. I would do it to you, but you wouldn't do it to me. You're always like flowers and beautiful things and butterflies float around you all the time. You're my angel. That's you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 20 years.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a long
exciting.
time.
It is.
I mean, I think I have clothes that are older than that. Because I never go shopping.
You don't shop for yourself.
I know. Anyway, so we are going to, we're being pretty predictable,
Yep.
but I call it our honeymoon because it is something that we've been wanting to do. Probably something we would have done had we not honeymooned in Hawaii 20 years ago.
Yep.
Although we didn't even know what wine was 20 years ago. So we're kind of, I think we're rookies when it comes to wine personally, but we enjoy the area. So we're going to the Napa Valley and we're going 5 stars, first class, VIP,
Never done that.
All the way, everything.
Actually, we could count on one hand the amount of times we've stayed the night.
Very few.
And normally it's with friends or a one-nighter, but most of our stuff is day trips. So we never stay for 3-4 days,
Nope.
and we never roll super first class like that.
No, it's going to be amazing, and we're going to get spoiled, and we're going to see how the celebs live in Napa. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
5-star VIP accommodations.
Yep.
The only thing that we can't do, which is a super bummer, is we can't do French Laundry because it's just impossible to get into.
Yeah, we would have had to make reservations, so we missed that window. But
we're also doing a hot air balloon.
Yes, very excited about that.
All I know is I want to make sure our ducks are in a row.
That our wills are signed.
Wills, passwords, bank account things are available to our children so that
on a death-defying trip aboard a floating device.
when we careen into the electrical lines and die a horrible death, that they will have access to the money and to the bills and to whatever state information.
I'm sure they'll love that.
No, whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that they don't go, they told us nothing, we're screwed.
We don't do that when we get on a jet, but we're doing it when we get on a balloon.
Hey, it's safer to be on a plane than to even drive anywhere.
Yeah.
Even though it scares me.
That's what I'm saying. In theory, we should be making sure they know where the will is.
When we go to the grocery store.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, but so I've never been on a hot air balloon.
Me neither.
And I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm not afraid of heights.
No.
They don't scare me at all. That's not the scaring part. The scary part for me is, the wind blew us into a line and we're going to, explode. That's the thing that scares me.
I think the flames scare me.
No, they don't scare me at all. I'm not worried about the fire. I'm more worried about...
I'm excited, though.
Something bad happening and us landing. Okay, so I was listening to Tom Papa. This was like 6-8 months ago.
Yeah.
Tom Papa is a comedian. He has his own podcast. I know he has a show on Sirius, which I did not know, but he also does the secondary podcast.
That's because nobody listens to satellite radio, but that's okay.
So he took his family to Africa. Mm-hmm. He was doing a corporate gig there, and he decided, hey, let's all go. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go to Africa, right? So they get to Africa and they do a hot air balloon so they can see the Serengeti.
Like a safari type thing, but on a hot air balloon.
Yeah, just so they can see everything, and I'm sure it's beautiful. You see the animals and the brush and the villages of
Kilimanjaro
people.
and
all that stuff.
Yep.
Had a little mishap.
Oh.
And their hot air balloon crashed.
What?
Yes, and it crashed in the brush.
Like crash, or just had to land unscheduled landing?
I would say it was an unscheduled crash landing.
So, but they didn't fall out of the basket.
They didn't fall out, but the basket tilted and they fell over.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So they literally fell out.
Shit.
I mean, nobody got hurt. They did have some bumps and bruises, but it wasn't anything significant. But anyway, the scary part was...
eaten by a lion.
The scary part was they landed near a village of rural people.
Eek.
And they got out, And these people, he's like, seriously.
Came out with spears?
Like loincloths and spear type people. And they were looking at us like, who are you? You know, you're unusual. And the guide was like, hurry the hell up. Get us out of here.
Oh,
you know, they're on the
shit.
little walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
He's like, they have these dogs that are frightening. I mean, they were
hellhounds.
He's like, they weren't aggressive, but they were aggressive,
Yeah.
you know? He's like, and we're just a bunch of white people just standing there like assholes going, you know, what do we say? How do we say hello? Like, what do we do? Do we need to give them something? Like, how do we...
I mean, this can't be the first time these people have seen a hot air balloon, but it probably has never landed.
It's never landed. They
Yeah.
were super curious.
I bet.
And so I'm just sitting there going, well, okay, that's not going to happen in Napa.
No.
If we crash land, we're going to land in some
a vineyard.
drunky vineyard. Oh, yeah, we'll land in a vineyard with a bunch of drunk tasters going, hey, salute! You know, it won't
Yeah.
be anything bad like that, but
Nothing
still.
that can eat you.
You're going with an UGG, and I'm just concerned that something's going to go awry.
We would have to retire Ugly and Awkward Moments if that happened. Because you will never top that.
No, probably not.
You could, like, drop your champagne glass onto someone. That would be funny.
That would not be funny.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. It's okay. Happens all the time.
It
Not
does
really.
when you're tasting.
So have we learned anything in 20 years of relationship, marriage? It hasn't all been a honeymoon. I
No,
mean,
well,
we
of
had
course
some
not.
rocky times.
Anybody that lasts 20 years, I don't know that it could be. Because I feel if it was the same all the time, it would get boring and people wouldn't last that long.
Well, okay, but have we learned anything? Have we learned anything about being together? Like, if somebody was getting married and we actually approved of it,
Yeah.
what kind of advice would you give the guy?
Don't lie.
Don't lie?
Ever.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, especially if, I mean, don't lie, period, but especially if you're married to an UGG. Because they find it's not possible. It's literally
They'll find
not
you
worth
out.
it. Yeah, let's.
Completely.
Actually, I have told you the truth and second guessed myself because of how you are. Like, so here's one. This happened the other day. Is I am in a meeting, but it's one of those watching a teleconference type meeting. So I'm chatting with you, and you say to me, "What are the girls up to?" Like anniversary related, like they're doing something, like they're I've got them on some sort of mission, or I need them to do something, because you're like, because they're acting weird, and they're like fake checking in from places and stuff like that, and I'm like, I didn't ask them to do anything. Like
you're like, I'm on.
But even then, they're like, yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, why are they fake Snapchatting to me that they're here when they're really not? And I didn't say that I was questioning where they were going. You must be telling them to be less conspicuous or something. And I'm like, I truly didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I started second guessing myself.
No, I found out what their covert operation was.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, they took the cat with them.
Oh, that's right.
They took the cat to Starbucks. What kind of person takes a cat to Starbucks?
Kenzie?
God, I couldn't. I'm like, what?
Apparently, this is not the first time. Not
so
just to
dumb.
Starbucks, but just to general, they take the cat places.
I don't know what they're thinking.
What the fuck?
I don't know what they're thinking. Okay, well, what have I? What I have
what have you learned?
In 20 years, I have learned to apologize, because I've never been a big fan of apologizing. And so I have learned to apologize.
Yeah, but even then though, you do it when you feel you.
No,
you
but
need
there was
to.
when
Like,
we
it's like,
first started getting married. When we were
Yeah.
first together, apologizing was like showing weakness. It was like a defeat, and that's not true in marriage anyway. It's not
Sure.
true. You should be humble enough to apologize to your partner. I think that's one of the number one things, is just having a little humility, that it's not a tug of war. No one's trying to one up you. Like, I was raised in a very competitive, hard environment where weakness was apologizing, crying, anything like that was considered you lose.
Yeah.
And marriage, if you do that with marriage, you will lose.
Yeah,
It will not go well.
Yeah, I think
Well,
two stubborn people that are stubborn all the time is not.
it's
a
not
good
even that
combination.
it's not even being stubborn. It's just recognizing that being sorry is not meaning you lost this
Sure.
round.
That's good.
Sometimes I still feel that way, though. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
When I apologize, and I'm sincerely apologizing, I still feel like
Yeah, I apologize 10 times more than you. Of course, I do 10 times more things than you do, but
You totally do.
I hate. I would say.
because you're a dumb boy.
Yeah, I know, but I would say that there is. My best feeling is kisses. My worst feeling is you being mad at me. I fucking hate it.
Like yesterday?
It's the worst thing ever.
Like yesterday.
Yesterday would be an example, but yeah.
Yes. Well, I will tell you why I got
I have
so
learned
emotional.
from that, though, too. So
What?
Not just yesterday, but...
What?
Well, early in our marriage, if you were mad at me...
Yes.
I always made it worse.
Oh, yeah.
Always. Like, I was in your face, I'm sorry, let's work it out, let's talk, we got to communicate, we got to do these things. And I have very much since learned the difference between when something is just serious and when I've just simply pissed you off.
Right.
And so, do the apology, because,
apology tour.
I'll be straight. I raised my voice and I should have. I wasn't yelling directly at you, but I was getting loud, and it was dumb, but I did it, and I apologize for it. It was me.
You're not going to even let me try to explain why I was upset yesterday. You're just going to sit here and continue talking about how sorry you are?
No.
Let me tell you why. I was
Okay.
trying to explain.
Okay.
What the deal was. The deal was this. I came downstairs. I was super like, hey, let's go to Deonda's in Old Fair Oaks and get a sandwich. That sounds super fun. We could walk over, then we can stop at the Stockman and get a cocktail, and then we'll walk home. It'll be great. I come down to two totally horrible people, you and our daughter Mackenzie, furious and stressed and angry. I go, hey, what's going on? And you're all, right. And Mackenzie's like, I don't have any nice things. I'm like, you don't have any nice things? And so her phone is jacked.
Yeah, it was,
and it's
yeah.
because she doesn't take care of it, and she's too
Like-
old to be doing this.
Yeah.
But you're trying to figure out her phone situation. In the back of my mind, I'm like, just buy the fucking phone. Like, why are we debating over this? But in my mind, I'm like, well, what about my phone? And I am offering my child my own cell phone to resolve it. And you two turned on me at the same time. And that's why I said, you guys are assholes. And I threw my phone at you and ran away because I was pissed. And I'm like, he thinks he made me cry because I'm sad, but I am actually furious. And
No,
that
I knew you weren't sad.
makes me so mad when I'm so mad that I cry because I'm a girl. There is nothing
hate that.
more
You hate it.
infuriating to me because that feels like weakness, hardcore, because no one at work ever would see me cry. I don't like to let my children see me cry because when my kids see me cry, they start to cry. And I'm like, no, that's not what this is about. But anyway, 10 years ago, this would have been a week-long thing.
Yeah.
And I would not have spoken to you.
Yes, true. Because one, apologizing, is a difficult thing for us getting in any kind of argument, right? But mostly because I would have been incessant about fixing it. Like I wanted to fix it right away all the time. And sometimes you just have to realize that's not the right thing. Like this is not, nobody's breaking up over this, right? So it's just, you just have to give time and, admit
true.
wrongdoing when it is. And
I think
sometimes
that's the
even
thing
when it's not.
I think that's the thing you learn is just submission of I fucked up and let's move on with our lives. I unfortunately take too long. No, I don't take too long, but I do like to hold a grudge for a while. I do like to do that. And it's not more, it's just more that I take longer to cool down than you.
Yeah.
It takes me a full 24 hours. It just does. It just does. I can't help it. I'm just so mad. I'm just like a hornet. Just constantly pissed off.
Yeah.
But then I get over it and somehow we're still together 20 years later.
Yep. We almost didn't have a show, peeps. Because we were supposed to record yesterday.
Hey Hugs, let's talk Avon. Yes, Avon. We at The Ugly Truth are happy to endorse their products because we use them and we love them. Check out our site for yourself. You'll always find free shipping on purchases of $40 or more. All you have to do is go to the Ugly Truth website, click on the Avon link, and you will be in the Ugly Truth Avon shop. I know you'll find something that you just can't live without. So check it out now. Thank you so much for supporting The Ugly Truth. Bye! All right, so before we go to our ugly and awkward moment of the week, really quick, I wanted to ask you something. This happened, I was going to talk to Paula about it, but I'm kind of curious what you, first of all, this happened in Tennessee. So it would never happen to us, because we don't live in Tennessee. We would never.
Sure.
The second reason I know it would never happen to us is because it happened at a vegan restaurant. Okay.
Strike two.
Right. This family, the husband and wife, they have like 4 kids, and they run this vegan restaurant they've converted a craftsman home into a restaurant. And it's very common downtown.
Sure.
It's not an unusual thing.
Yep.
So this vegan place, they have children, and apparently they think they live in the 60s or the 70s during the hippie era because they let their children run around the restaurant like it's their house when there are patrons there eating.
All right.
So this lady was eating her vegan grass clippings, and the baby, who's like 18 months old, comes running out of the back naked. No shoes, no diaper, nothing. Just running around, free as free could be, and gets up on a table and bends over and shows her his butthole.
All right.
And she's a patron. She's just trying to eat her goddamn food. First of all, I don't know why you would ever. If you saw a naked baby, I'd get up and leave.
Okay. Jamie draws the line at naked babies in eating establishments.
I mean, really.
Let the record show.
Secondly, apparently this is not the first time this baby has done this. There was another time it did it, and it pooped on the floor.
Where are the Yelp reviews on this joint?
Well, here's the thing. There aren't any anymore.
Why?
Well, I don't know about Yelp, but the Facebook page where all of this shit was going down has been completely cleaned. It's like a brand new Facebook page.
What's the name of this place?
I think it's Imagine Vegan or something in Tennessee. Anyway, so they started going off on this customer saying, those are my babies. You should not be talking about my family, in those manners. And they're like, dude, your baby's running around naked around strangers. Do you know how unsafe and scary that is? Somebody could just pick that baby up and run out. They're like, that's fine. You go ahead and defend your naked baby running around while strangers are eating their food in your restaurant, and we'll just call health department. I mean, it's got to be a violation. So this kid shit on the floor at some point, and the people that were working there were arguing over who's going to clean it up. It's like, are you serious? So now there was a hashtag buttholegate for a while.
Wow.
Come and gone now.
Oh, this has got to be it. Imagine Vegan Cafe.
Yeah, it's got 4 stars.
Memphis, Tennessee. It's got 4 stars, 161 reviews.
Yes.
I want to see the review where the baby shit on the floor, though.
It wasn't. Now, see, can you even see the reviews?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Active cleanup alert. This business recently made waves in the news, which often means that people come to this page to post their views on the news. While we don't take a stand one way or the other when it comes to these news events, we do work to remove both positive and negative posts that appear to be motivated more by the news coverage itself than the reviewer's personal consumer experience. As a result, your posts to this page may be removed as part of the cleanup process.
Right. So there's no reviews. You can't read.
So unless it happened to you and you wrote a review while you were there and that baby shit on your table.
Didn't shit on the table. It shit on the floor.
Whatever.
But anyway, the woman, and so they started calling individual reviewers out. They're like, we're going to just call you out. We're going to start with you, Christine. And she's like, go ahead. Your baby showed me its asshole. And I'm just sitting there thinking, first of all, that's something that would happen to me.
Sure.
That is one of those situations in which I would be somewhere and this would happen to me. It's just like when I go to a grocery store or any store and the oldest person on the planet walks up and says, excuse me, do you know where I might find this or that?
Yeah, like
yesterday when we were at Trader Joe's and that crazy old bat kept following me around and talking to me about her food choices. Do you not recall this lady?
I saw it.
You saw her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really. She goes, do you see the parsley? I'm like, oh, well, it's right there. She goes, oh, no, I mean Italian. And I'm like, do I have a Trader Joe's Hawaii shirt on? Like, I don't work here, lady. I don't know who you are. So anyway.
She talked to everybody, though, for the record. I watched everywhere she went. She was like, I don't know what kind of person that was, but...
Thanks for shitting on my point, by the way.
No, what?
Thank you.
No,
Thank you. Thank you for making me not feel special. So speaking of...
I'm sorry.
Let's go ahead and go to our ugly and awkward moment of the week. Do you have one?
Nope.
You don't do anything awkward ever, right? Like
no,
never?
I do. Well, yeah, so yesterday I yelled at my wife. That was my ugly and awkward moment.
And you
I
suffered.
raised my voice to my wife and spent the day downstairs playing video games by myself.
By yourself.
And we went nowhere until things had calmed down a little bit.
Actually, no, I didn't go anywhere with you. I made you take your daughter. Yeah. I refused to go with you anywhere.
You did. That was my ugly and awkward moment of the week.
Okay.
What was yours?
Mine is digital. The other day, you wouldn't know because I deleted it as quickly as I could.
Did you post something stupid?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait. What? Do you think you saw it or something?
No, you just said I didn't see it because it went away. And it's
No, what happened was this. We have our daughters, and I would consider him a friend of ours, a hairdresser.
Yes.
Is celebrating 20 years with his husband this week.
Oh, right.
Just like anything, you go, they announce congrats,
Sure.
and it's, he showed, a picture of their first date and their last date, and it's amazing, and you're so happy for them.
Sure.
And so I am on this new thing. Facebook has incorporated the GIF, the GIFs.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Where you
Is it GIF or GIF?
I don't know.
You're not even going to take a gander?
No, because it never was resolved. The only time I even knew that it could be pronounced both ways, I say GIF, but
You do?
Yeah, but the only
Graphic.
well,
GIF.
because G, it's
Okay,
G is
I'll
a hard
say
G,
GIF.
right? But the only time I've seen it debated, it was never resolved, and that was on the Big
Big Bang Theory. Okay. So we'll say GIF.
Yes.
GIFs are now a way that you can respond to comments on Facebook. It's pseudo new.
Sure.
Well,
You
it's new to me.
Well, you just kind of pull you just search and it brings you a
type in-
bunch of different ones.
I've
Yeah.
literally typed in everything,
I'm
and
sure
there's
you have.
something there. It's so great.
Yeah, it's really good.
So I started
Thanks,
typing
Mark
in
Zuckerberg.
happy anniversary,
Yeah.
20, whatever, because I'm trying to find a really great gift.
Something cute.
Here's the thing, though. They're gay, and so a lot of the gifts seemed a bit too flamboyant, and I didn't want it to look like I was making fun.
Would you type in gay anniversary?
No,
or? Oh, okay.
no. But
flamboyant,
20, yeah, like it just seemed a little too. I don't know, like almost. It would seem like I was making fun or something.
Right. So,
but I
big
wasn't.
rainbows and flowers, and
It was
yeah.
just everything, and I'm sure I was overthinking it as
Of course.
usual. But I was like, no, I don't want that.
No, you were overthinking it.
I don't want to do anything where they go, "What is she trying to say?
Yeah.
That we're fairies?" I mean,
Yeah.
like I didn't want to
No,
do that.
For sure. Well,
So-
and they know you better than that, but it's social media, so it doesn't
Well,
matter.
listen, Neil and I had a big discussion about my utter lack of understanding of the gay
Yeah.
community. I have no problem with it, but I'm just really naive.
Yeah.
So I can do stuff and it'll be offensive and I would have no idea.
Yeah.
So anyway.
That's not limited to gay people.
And
by
he
the way,
acknowledged
for
that
you.
that's a real thing, and he was being very kind to me about it. I'm like, thank you so much for not thinking I'm just some kind of blockhead, because that's not it at all.
Or bigoted or racist or anything like that. I mean, it's
that's
you
furthest
just-
thing.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I fully acknowledge that I'm super unaware of how the culture is, and
Sure.
I'm just learning by people that I meet, and they tell me, and that's how I figure it out. But anyway, that's not what this is.
Yeah.
So because of that, though, because of my lack of understanding, sometimes I don't get it, and so I was trying to find something just benign. And I'm like, well, I could just say happy anniversary. Why am I doing this? I agonized over this for like 15 minutes. So finally, I typed in happy anniversary and then I pressed enter. And what happens is the first GIF available is the most popular one trending at the time. And it was a crying Asian child.
What?
And
On happy anniversary?
No, I just decided that I was just going to say.
But the system assumed you wanted whatever GIF was the first in line.
The system did not. I hadn't closed out the GIF choice, the GIF lineup or whatever.
So you were typing on that.
So I typed happy anniversary and I clicked enter, and it typed happy anniversary and a crying Asian child.
Oh, well.
And I went, well, this isn't what I wanted. And I was like, how do I delete it? I was freaking out. So I was deleting it, and Greg liked it. So he saw it, and I went, oh,
I can't wait for
no.
that next hair appointment.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that I deleted it, because then I added a different one. I was like, oh
Right.
my God, this is what I get.
Nothing
This
says
is what I
happy
get.
happy 20th anniversary for a gay couple like a crying Asian
baby.
child.
I was like, what am I doing? What is this? Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. But
That's
you know
pretty
what?
good. You win.
Well, thank you. I feel like such a winner.
Have I ever
Offending
won?
gay couples.
I mean, I've only done a couple, but I don't think I've ever won Ugly and Awkward.
I don't think you have either.
Yeah,
No.
so.
Why would you?
Yeah.
No. You never win. You'll never win. It's a non-winnable.
I don't think you can win if you're not an Ugg.
Oh, I don't know.
I
You
don't know
probably
that
could
you're
if you did something,
qualified.
but
Like-
you don't do stuff
Yeah.
that would ever.
It would
do
have
anything.
an asterisk on it.
Okay, and then the final thing I want to know before we say goodbye, and if you've come this far, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Oh, my
listening.
God.
And share the show. Maybe not this one, but another one.
And once again, let me apologize.
You're pseudo forgiven.
Okay.
I might let you kiss me later. Anyway, I haven't let you kiss me. Barely.
Oh, yeah, you did. Well, by stuff that... So here's that thing, though, is that because of this, your obsession with death, even when you're mad at me,
Yes.
if I'm leaving,
Oh, that's true.
you do let me kiss you goodbye.
Yeah, because I don't want to be
You
the-
don't want that.
Actually, it's really funny that you say that because I was I had to go to the bathroom. I was getting up to go pee, and you went downstairs or something, and I was literally sitting down, urinating, going, well, we definitely have to have sex before he leaves for his trip next week, because if we leave on the last thing that we did was fight, and he dies, how am I going to explain this to myself for the rest of my life?
Yeah, we can't have that.
So
there you go.
You're getting laid tonight.
Sweet.
Congratulations. I'm going to let the past be the past.
Past be the past. So you actually put a window on yourself of how long you would allow yourself to be mad at me. Like, I know you could have gone longer.
I might secretly still be angry with you, but I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go.
You're not good at secret anger.
Well, I'm trying.
Okay,
I'm making efforts.
Thank you, my love.
I'm making efforts.
Appreciate that.
Finally, before we say goodbye, I just want to highly recommend the Netflix show Glow.
Yes.
We binge watched the entire season yesterday because they're only 30-minute episodes, and I think there's 10. So we spent a long time watching Glow.
Yep.
Thank you for watching it with me, because you never watch anything with me. It was great.
I didn't catch I think you had watched 1.5 or something like that before I got in.
I saw the first 2 episodes. I only had to tell you one plot point, and everything else was...
Yeah, the acting was really good, and it's a really interesting storyline. I mean, most of the acting was good, not all of it. But.
I had an epiphany when we were getting ready. I was getting ready to talk about this on the show, to endorse this show, Glow, with Alison Brie, who I think is just one of the best actresses right now. She's just on fire. She's so funny. I just think she's so funny and really, really good. And she was in Mad Men, and she was Campbell's wife, Trudy. Anyway, there's another actually a couple of Mad Men actors in this show, interestingly.
I didn't watch Mad Men.
No, I know.
Much, so.
I know. God, I don't know what to say about that.
Well, it's just...
Whatever. Anyway, what was Mark Maron. Okay, so I'm watching this, so I'm reflecting on it this morning, going, man, that was a really great series. I'm so glad that I watched it from beginning to end. And I realized I know why I like it, and why I was feeling some kind of familiarity to the whole setup. It's basically the Bad News Bears. That's essentially what the premise is. It's the same template of the Bad News Bears. Mark Maron is the grumpy coach.
Walter Matthau. And
he acts a lot like him, if you think about it.
I told you while we were watching it, Mark Maron was not acting.
No, he's not. And
that's him.
He actually admits that a lot of the time. That's his thing.
But that was not a stretch for him.
No, not at all. Yeah. But Mark Maron is the coach, and then all of these misfits are the team. And then somehow at the end of it all, they pull it together.
Gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
It is so good.
How much of it was, I mean, I know it was based on an actual thing.
Yes,
Glow is an actual thing, actual TV show. It still exists, I believe. Yes. I just don't know how true, like historically true the characters were. If it was just
I don't know if the individual women, they're existing. I looked it up. There is a Liberty, there is a Zoya, but
Zoya the Destroyer?
Yes, but I don't know if it was based on those ladies or if they just pulled from reality.
Sure. Like did those stories happen fiction. Or did they just
I don't know, and I won't give away any of the plot.
Who was your favorite?
Oh, well, I liked...
Like not from an acting quality standpoint, but from a character standpoint.
Well, I liked Ruth, the main character, but I also liked the rich, spoiled girl, and I don't know her name.
Liberty Bell.
Not Liberty Bell. The other one. The one that actually reminded me of my...
Melrose.
Melrose reminded me of my sister, so I love that. Melrose reminded me of Stephanie.
Of course.
Back in the 80s and 90s. So anyway, highly recommended. Please think about checking it out. It's super good. It's very 80s. The music's great.
Yeah.
Everything. Lots of sex, you guys. Lots of boobs. You'll love it. A lot of coke. A lot of partying. A lot of douchebag 80s dudes. Yeah. All that is there. It's super great. So that's it.
Glitter unibrows. God.
All kinds of stuff.
Super wrestling.
High top white Reeboks ladies.
Yeah.
Lots of hairspray.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Wish it, want it, do it. All right.
Let's wrap it up.
All right. Thanks for listening. Paula will be back next week to tell us about her travails of moving, even though if she could, everything would be paid for so she could just sit somewhere.
Throw money at that shit.
Oh my God. She's not a fan of hard labor, so.
No.
And I've seen her birth babies, and I can tell you that is absolutely true. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap. But make sure to watch your podcast feed for all the screw-ups and edits from this episode and what we call Ugly Cuts. and then we'll have a brand new full episode for you next week. Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.